Now it is not. Now it's okay. Channel.
So we'll see the shell scripting part today. Okay. And okay, whenever it comes to the scripting or coding, right, it's something like a program. It's not like any other writing of commands and all. It's again a programming. Okay. So for anybody who wants to come into this role, DevOps or building engineer, okay, if they have a prior experience of a development, that will be really, really high advantage if you consider the scripting part. Okay, the reason it is we are not a full-time developer. When I say full-time developer, you don't do morning to evening entire coding stuff. Okay, we are a kind of a part-time developer. So part-time developer nothing but when there is a requirement, you write some scripts and try to automate it. But your most of the work is operation and administration. Okay, so to perform a part-time work, you should be equipped with at least any one of the scripting language for sure. Okay, otherwise you cannot automate the real world things, right? So that's the reason the guy who is coming with this role, right? They must and should have any one of the scripting language knowledge. Okay, so that's the reason we need to go through with one scripting. So you can go through with any scripting. The multiple scriptings are there, like Perl, Python, okay, and Ruby. And if you're really interested to learn one more scripting language, go for the Python. This is having really good marketing. Okay, so because Python is getting more popular in the market, and it's very lightweight and easy to learn actually Python. Okay, so now, and again, if you know the Python, right, it's a kind of a cross platform. You can run the Python on Windows or Linux, any operating system. Right? Now, we need to go through the shell scripting. The reason it is most of the server platforms are shell Linux operating systems, okay, and the default Linux operating systems will have a shell, okay. So, what exactly you mean by shell? Let me explain you that with a diagrammatical presentation so that you can understand what do you mean by shell. What happened? Why this came close? I don't think this is required. So your typical operating system looks like this. Your hardware, okay? Your kernel. So your operating system. I'm just trying to show you the layered way how it is hosted on your machine, okay? Then on top of your OS, you will be having a shell point, okay? And on top of this shell, you have a user interface, okay? So every operating system is designed like this, okay? So every operating system must and should be having a kernel, OS, shell, and UI, right? Including the Windows operating system. Right now, we are accessing our Windows operating system from UI, guys, okay? We are working over here at the moment, right? So when it comes to the Linux, right? So this Linux terminal, okay? Whatever you see this terminal we call it as a shell. So Linux, we are operating at shell level, not at UI level. You might be thinking that Linux don't have a UI. If you ask that question, yes, it is having. But right now, for Linux operating system, we are not using UI. So the reason why we are not using UI is if you try to embed UI on your operating system, right, the performance of the machine will be degraded, okay, because to run the UI itself, it will take more resources, okay, like a CPU, RAM, memory, okay, cache, everything it will use it. So guys, rest of you, please have a look whether I started the recording or not, otherwise we lost, okay, fine. So when it comes to scripting, right, once you write a code, okay, you will be giving to interpreter, and the interpreter will give you the output. So nothing but there is no binary code or bit code concept in the scripting. Okay, you write a code and execute. You write a code and execute. So in scripting, there is only one step, which is a execution. Okay, only one step here, just execution. But when it comes to the programming, right, you have a compilation. Okay, at the same time you have a execution. Did you get the difference now? So the thing is, in programming, your C, Java, blah blah, all these programming languages will be having a compiler, and they will generate some .class files, and those things you run it. But when it comes to scripting, you write a .sh file or .pl Perl file or Python file. You don't have any compilation. You directly run it. That's it. It's an interpreter. Okay. So that's the main difference. And again, another difference is in a compile. Also, this is called a compile-based language. This is the interpreter-based language. Okay. So people may ask you, what do you mean by interpreter again? An interpreter nothing but scans line by line and executes it. Okay. It won't look for entire file, guys. Okay. It just scans line by line and it executes it. That's it. So interpreter treats each and every line like a command. That's it. So this is the main difference between a programming and a scripting language. Okay. Especially for system programming. When I say system programming, nothing but anything to do with the servers or operating system, with the network, blah blah blah, it is better to go for the scripting. It's always recommended. Any business applications, go for the programming. See, I want to develop a website. You cannot develop a website with the scripting, guys. Okay. See, you might try with the Perl and all, but the thing is, developing a website or like a web portal with the programming is more sophisticated and more reliable, okay, compared to scripting. So when it comes to and again, you might be thinking, we can use the programming to do the system programming, right? Yes, of course you can do it, okay. The thing is, it is really expensive activity. So to perform the system programming with the programming language, you have to have a number of interpreters again, okay. So instead of that, you directly make use of interpreter language. So that will save your time, save your resources and all. So that's the benefit of it. So most of the people, if it is a system programming, go for scripting. If it is a business application, go for the programming. So let's see about the shell scripting. Now we have seen the differences between programming and interpreting, right? So let's see the scripting part, okay? So especially when it comes to Linux, the shell interpreter, okay, that is stored at here. This is what the location. /bin sh is the location where it has a shell interpreter, okay? This shell interpreter will take input of your file, okay, and it gives you the output. That's it. So if you want, you can cross check it whether it is there here or not, okay? /bin sh. Can you see this? This file is there here. If you want, you can run ls-l. Can you see this? It's a bash file, okay? /bin sh, nothing but it's a shortcut actually, okay? Symbolic link for this. Next, how do we write our first script? Okay, typically the bash shell scripts people extend with file.sh, nothing but shell scripting. So see, either you can extend with the .sh or whether you don't write also not a problem, guys. It will pick it up, okay. And only one thing is, in a shell script, right, the first line you should mention your default shell, which is bin sh, and this line we call it as the shebang line, okay. The first line of a shell script should include hash exclamation /bin /sh, okay. See, if it is a shell scripting, it is this one, okay. If it is a Perl scripting, something like Perl, I don't know exactly the path of the Perl, but the path of it. If it is a Python, it is a Python. So what will happen, when this file is executed, default it interprets this line, okay. By interpreting this line, it comes to know which shell we are using at the moment, okay. And again, every operating system will be having a default shell for sure, okay. So it is not mandatory to provide this, okay. If you don't provide this, it will by default takes the shell script, your default shell, whatever is configured in your operating system. See, if I try to run sh, right, it executes. Can you see it is entering into the shell? Did you see this shell? Okay, so shell is the interpreter actually, right? So the default shell is available here, which is the bin sh, okay. So I no need to provide any kind of a shebang line if it is default shell is available. Okay, or if I'm using some other shell, then I need to provide this. Okay, let's mkdir. I'm just getting into it. Let me write my first script. Okay, hello world .sh. Okay, this is what my first script I'm trying to write it. So now from here onwards, I'll try to compare everything with your programming language learning, guys. Most of you might be in your engineering gone through some programming, right? Whether you are a IT background or CSC background, some other background, you might be gone through some programming language called C. Okay, I know, like, it's common for every engineering platform, C language. Okay, so try to recap your learning from C language, because I'm going to, like, follow the same flow what how you learn the C. Okay, so typically, like, if you look at this in the day one class, they'll explain you hello world, how to write a program for hello world, and next what even by variables. Okay, next what are the conditions, next what are the loops, blah blah blah. So same flow will go on, guys. Okay, so, and this is a very lightweight language. It's not a tightly coupled one. Okay, we can write the statement directly without starting, like, void main blah blah blah. You don't have any kind of a starting and ending and all. Okay, the line, first line itself, you can start writing the code. Okay, echo hello world. That's it. Your first program is ready. Echo nothing but print something. Okay, my, and try to run this file with sh space hello world.sh. Can you see hello world output? It is interpreter now. You are providing the hello world to your shell, so that it is interpreting. And again, the same hello world script can be executed like this, but it should have execute permission. Does it have execute permission, guys? There is no execute permission. How to give execute permission? 7, 5, 4. Hello world. Now you look at it. It has execute permission now. Okay. So once it has execute permission, try this. Can you see the output? So it is interpreting with a default shell. That's the reason it is executing it, guys. Okay, fine. That's a simple hello world script. Okay. Now, once hello world is done, okay. Now, what else you learn next? You learn now, like, how to read the input variables. Echo enter input. Okay. So to read your input, there is a key called read. Okay. Say input. I'm reading my input into input variable, guys. Okay. And echo, this is what entered colon dollar input to fetch the variable value. Input is a variable which you are reading it. Okay. And to fetch the input, the variable value, you put a dollar prefix. Okay. sh hello world.sh. It is waiting for input, guys. Read statement. Okay. So DevOps. Guys, can you see this? This is what entered DevOps. Am I right? Whatever you enter, it can be anything. This is what you enter. Okay. So this is what you, like, enter something and read it. Now, okay, you are done with entering something and reading it. Let's try to perform some arithmetic operations. Okay. So a equal to 10, b equal to 30, and c equal to $a plus $b. Okay, and echo total is $c. A simple addition program. Let me see whether this goes fine or not. Okay, guys, this is what you enter 1, 2, 3. That's okay. Okay, then after that, total is 10 plus 30. Is it correct, guys? 10 plus 30, actually we are supposed to do it, but it is printing like 10 plus 30. The reason why it is printing like 10 plus 30 is it treats your variables like a strings. In shell scripting, there is no data type. Okay, data type is nothing but we don't have any kind of a integer, character, float, string, blah blah blah, like your programming language. Okay, so everything is a string. Okay, now if you try to add 10 and 30 strings, it will be like concatenating both of them. So now the thing is, to make this work, okay, so what you're supposed to do it, dollar you put like this. Okay, command not found. Okay, it's correct now. Syntax error, guys. This is how you need to evaluate if it is a numerical operations. Okay, that is one way of evaluating. There is one more way is there. I can show you one more way to evaluate a numerical expressions is there is a command called expr. I didn't explain this expr command in the Linux session, but look at this. With the help of a Linux command also you can perform the arithmetic operations in a shell scripting. Look at the 2 plus 4. Is it printing 6? Okay. 2 divided by 4, 0 of course. Okay, so 12 divided by 4, 3. So expression is a command which will perform the arithmetic operations. Okay, now the same command I can make use it in my shell scripting. So when it comes to using a shell command, Linux command on your shell scripting, right? So try to comment it out, guys. Hash is nothing but comment in Linux. Okay, so please try to comment it out. C equal to, okay, expression $A plus $B. So when you're putting a Linux command on a shell script, right, you have to put it in a backquotes. Okay, can you see this expression $A plus $B? Okay, that's it. Now you try to run and see. Can you see 48 is printing? So this is also another way of running the arithmetic operations. Okay, next. Now variables is done, how to get it now. Okay, now we have seen how to declare variables. All variables are string variables, guys. Okay, Linux command on shell script, this also we have seen now. Okay, now once this is done, okay, in a hello world you perform some sort of operations. So let's make it more sophisticated. So instead of declaring the variables here, okay, I would say read the variables from input. Read A, okay, echo enter B, read B, okay, we call this as a enter A, we call this as a arithmetic operations. This is not required anymore. This is a proper script. Now hello world order says enter A 123, okay, enter B 45. What is the total? 168, right? So similarly you can perform whatever you wanted. Now it's absolutely working like a proper arithmetic addition program. Okay, so and that's about playing around with your hello world, I mean printing something and reading something into a variable and performing some arithmetic operations. Now what else you learn? You just recap your C language flow, guys. Okay, first you learn the hello world, then data types. Right now we don't have a data type, so please ignore it. Okay, now you perform some arithmetic operation, then what else? Okay, so what you do it after uh, learning these, right, you might end up with conditions. Okay, so I need to write some code to perform the conditions. So what are all the conditions available? Okay, if condition, mainly we have only one condition, if, and other is a switch. Okay, and again if we have three types of if: simple if, Okay, uh, if else nested if. Right, now let's see the simple if. Okay, if dot sh echo if condition sign. So if, let's say, x equal to $x is less than 5, then f5. This is what the simple if is. Okay, look at the syntax. You will be learning the syntaxes. Let's try to print echo x value is okay sh if.sh. Can you see there is an error? Line 5, no such file or directory. Okay, so the third line there is an error which is less than. So this symbol is not in your shell scripting, guys. Okay, this symbol is not there in shell scripting. So we have to make use of a special operators. Okay, so in shell scripting the operators are like this. The less than is represented with hyphen lt. Okay, and greater than is represented with hyphen gt. Less than or equal to is represented with le. Greater than or equal to is represented with hyphen ge, and is represented with hyphen eq, and this is represented with hyphen ne. Okay, so these are all the shell operators, guys. We have to make use of these operators instead of the conventional operators. Okay, so now lt. Okay, this is not failure, but it is not getting into the loop, getting into the if block. Can anybody tell me why it is not getting into the if block? 10 is less than 5. Is the condition is true? See, it will execute always the if block only if the condition is true. Is this condition true? No, that's the reason it is not executing this. So now what I will do it, I'll make this as a 15. Okay. Can you see this now? X value is 10. So 10 is less than 15. That's correct. Okay. That's why it is getting into the if condition. Now, the second type of if. Okay. Second type of if is pretty simple. You will be having a else block. So if the condition is false, okay, x value is x value in else block. Okay, it's getting x value as 10. Okay, but now what I will make it as, just keep it as a 5. Okay, now the condition is failed. It comes to the x values in else block. Can you see this 10 value? So the if condition works like a based on a condition, whether it is true or false. Only two values it will be having. Okay, if it is successful, immediate block. If it is failure, else block. Okay, so this is what how it works with respect to conditions. Okay, now we'll see the other if. Okay, nested if. Okay, to see the nested if, I'll take an example. Other file, nested.sh, nested if. echo enter. What I will do it, guys, I'll come up with some programming, some calculator program to give an example for nested if. Okay, enter a, read a, enter b, read b, enter operation. Which operation you want to do it? Read op. Okay, now what I will do it, if $op is equal to, okay, add, then what I will do it, I'll perform C equal to expression $a plus $b. Did you get it now? Else, it's not else, it's L if. This is what the nested if. Okay, if $op is equal to, in case if I pass the subtraction as input in operation, then what I will do it, the same thing like subtraction. Then again LF until you finish your all expressions. Okay, multiplication, then okay, so you can write nested if like n number of times. Star, why slash before the star? Because it's a special character, so you must need a escape character in front of it. Now I'm done with all my conditions. So when you're done with all, then you type else. Okay, so if it's not matching any of add, subtraction, multiplication, say wrong operation, F5. Okay, double quotes is missing. That's the reason the color is a bit different at the end. Okay, now let's see. Okay, once this is done, we need to print the value also, right? Echo total is $C. Right, let's see this. You might be having a question here before running example. Why I'm taking this operator? You said like no, there are shell operators. See, these are all numerical operators. Numerical nothing but a numerical conditional operators. Okay, so earlier we are comparing 10, 11, 5 numerical values, but when it comes to strings, okay, so when it comes to strings, this and this are the operators. See, in strings, guys, there is no less than, greater than. Okay, you cannot compare hello is greater than hi and all. Only the two things you can compare with between two strings is whether it is equal or not equal. That's it. As such, nested.sh, enter a 123, 123. Suppose operation, I am choosing add. Is it 246 correct? Okay, you can just try one more. 768, 78, multiplication. Can you see 61,542? Okay, so this is how it works, guys. Okay, the nested if stuff. Suppose if I enter a wrong operation, 34, blah 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 blah. Can you see this? Wrong operation. It's printing wrong operation. Okay, so that's what the nested if stuff. Okay, there is one more conditional operator is there, which is switch. Okay, if is done, three types of ifs. Now switch. When it comes to switch, right? Switch is a kind of replacement of nested if only. Okay, how exactly switch works is, actually switch we call it as a C programming language, but in Linux we call this as a case. Okay, so I'm going to write the same program with a case. Okay, echo enter a, a enter b, b. Guys, it's all about lining the syntaxes, nothing else. Okay, logic you have to write it by yourself. Remember, I'm just trying to show you how to write the syntax-free scripts. Enter operation, read op. Okay, case. This is what the syntax for your switch case or case. $OP in, okay, first case, if it is an add, you perform like, whatever you wanted. C equal to expression $A plus $B, okay, and if the case is ends, double semicolon. Next, if it is a subtraction, okay, same thing again. If it is a multiplication, okay, only thing is operator will be changing. Suppose it's not with any one of it, hashtag matching, but if it's not matching add, subtraction, multiplication, you say like, wrong choice, okay, and the case ends with reverse of case, which is the ISAC. Read the case in reverse. Case ISAC, that's how it ends. If ends with FI. SH case dot SH. Sorry, switch dot SH. 1 2 3 1 2 subtraction. Is it correct? Sorry, something. Okay, it's not printing anything because we are not printing the actual value of it. Echo dollar total dollars. 123 12 add total 135. Right. So this is how it prints the case value, guys. Next, so once the condition stuff is done, okay, after that we'll end up with what? Guys, can anyone guess? I mean, you might be knowing any programming language flow, right? You learned how to print the hello world, how to read the variables, how to perform the arithmetic operations now. Now you know how to perform the conditional operations, okay? And you know what is the switch case and all. Now what else? What do you learn apart from this in a typical programming language? Any language. See, whichever the language you learn, these you will definitely learn, guys, okay? These are the very bare minimum basics in any programming language. What else you learn apart from this? Yes, are you getting? Can you speak up? Is there? Kiran, Mahinder, Shashi, Gautam.
Yeah.
Yeah, did I ask some question?
Yes.
So what else we learn? I mean, I don't know whether your background is computer science or not. So I hope everybody is from engineering background. Did you everyone gone through C language at least?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have
Yes,
gone through
yes.
C language, right, you might be learn like the variables, conditions, right? Apart from that, what else you learn?
Mm,
Just think about it. Recap yourself. Did you anytime heard about loops?
Yes.
yes, yes, Kiran,
While
loop.
loop.
Yeah, so
Yes.
While loop.
right, you're
Do while.
absolutely correct. Okay, while, do, while. That's what I'm expressing. If you try to recap your things, right, it is really easy to like understand the current things. Okay, so while, do, while, okay, and for loop, right? You might be remember all these things. Same stuff is there in the every scripting language, every programming language. Okay, so let's see these loops for Unix shell scripting. Okay, so in sorry, Linux shell scripting. In Linux, right, we don't have a do while, guys. Okay, we have only two loops, which is a for and a while. Okay, let's see the syntaxes of for and a while. While.sh. So typically, what exactly mean by loop? Okay, a loop is nothing but, so you will write something like this. This is what your syntax in a C programming language. Okay, so you will be having a condition. Okay, until the condition is true. Sorry, until the condition is false, it iterates the statements inside this block. Statement 1, statement 2. Okay, so it will keep on execute this statement until the condition is false. Okay, if the condition is always true, it's an infinite loop. If the condition is always true, it's an infinite loop, right? This is how the loop works. Now let's see an example first. Echo while loop example. x equal to 10. Okay, while the syntax in shell scripting, guys, this is a typical programming. So you write it like this: $x, okay, is less than one. Okay, do done. This is what the syntax in your shell scripting. Okay, echo its value is $x. Okay, guys, is this condition true or false? $x less than 1. 10 is less than 1. Is it less than 1? No. Okay, the condition is false. While.sh. See, it is not getting into your loop actually. It is not printing the statement because the condition is false. Now what I will do it. 15. 10 is less than 15. Yes, yes. It will get into the loop now. But it is infinite loop. Can you see it's keep on printing x value 10. I need to do control C to come out. Okay. Why it is printing always 10? Because this condition is always true. 10 is less than 15, 10 is less than 15. Second time, third time, like nth time. Now what we are supposed to do to come out from loop at certain time, we have to change the x value. Okay. So what I can do it, x equal to, okay, expression $x, okay, plus 1. If I do this, what will happen, first time it is 10 less than 15, second time 11 less than 15, third time 12, fourth time 14, fifth time 15. Is 15 less than 15? No, condition false, just come out. See this how it works now. You see this 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 only. Okay, it's not printing the 15 because at 15th time the condition is false. It is coming out. Okay, if you say less than or equal to, then 15 also it will print it. You see this 15 also it is printing. So this is how the while works, guys. Okay, only thing is you have to apply a logic there. Okay, apply logic and get the things. So now with the help of this, somebody may ask you a question: would you please print from 1 to 10 using the while loop? Okay, so I can easily print it. So just define x equal to 1. Okay, uh, okay, x is less than 10, less than or equal to 10, just print x value, right? 1 to 10, is it printing that? Okay, this is a while loop, guys, simple while loop. Okay, now similarly, I wanted to explain you the for loop as well. Okay, so what exactly a for loop is? For.sh. So in your C programming and all, the for loop looks like this. Okay, I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, print $I. You see this? For I equal to 0, so print I. So it will print I value from 0 to 10, okay, in this loop. So in this loop, what is the difference between this and this is? You're declaring this in while, right? You just try to compare. This you kept it outside. This condition is there in the loop condition, and this incrementation operator in the statement. So that's how. But when it comes to for loop, all in a single line. So this is what your programming language syntax. But when it comes to the shell scripting, right? Okay, when it comes to shell scripting, you don't have such that kind of a syntax. So you have something like like this: for I in 1 2 3 4 5 do done, okay, echo I value $I. Okay, so you cannot feed something like a condition based. There is no condition in the for loop in shell scripting. You have to feed all the variables what you want to iterate it. Now how it will iterate, in an I, right, the first time the value is 1, okay, 2.1, second iteration 2, third iteration 3, fourth iteration 4, fifth iteration 5, and there is no sixth value. It will just come out. There is no condition here as such or as such. See, now similarly, now it can be 1 2 3 4, it can be anything, guys. Okay, see, I would say hi, hello, uh, how are you, guys? Total how many strings are there here? 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 times iterate. Every time the I value is like the value of the string. Did you see this? Hi, hello, how are you? Right? The for works like this. Okay. This data can be anything. Now let me give one more example. Instead of the static data, you can pass a dynamic data, nothing but ls. So what it will do, it will run the ls command on your Linux machine. It will print the list of data, and that data will be passed to your for command. See, what I'm trying to say is, what is ls output, guys? These are all the files, guys. Now you try to run the sh for.sh, it will print all of them. You see this? One for.sh, hello world.sh, if.sh. So this is what the input is given to your for. So it's a special loop command in Linux, where you can perform some commands on your console and get that output, and you can run it here. Okay. Now somebody may ask you a question. I wanted to know how many characters are there in each and every word. Okay. So if that is the case, see, I wanted to know how many characters are there in this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay. You can easily do that. I'll show you that. Now cats equal to, okay, echo $I wc minus c. What is wc, guys? It's a Linux command, entirely Linux command. I'm passing the I value, okay, I'm printing I value and getting the characters and storing in the characters form, okay. Now what I will do it, $cats, okay, let's see. Did you see this? The first file is having 2 characters, second file is having 7. It's not 2, guys, it's 1 only, but the thing is a new line character is also included, so plus 1, okay. Now this is 7, this is 14, so this is how you can get the data, like whatever the way you want it, okay. That's about the for loop. Okay, next. That's it, guys. Two types of loops are there. Okay. Now, apart from loops, what else you learn? Any any answers? Apart from loops, what else you learn in any programming language? Once the loops are done, what do you learn? What did you learn in your C language or Java? What are the language you've gone through in your career? You let me know. I'll try to explain that in shell scripting. See, here we are trying to learn the same concepts in a different language. That's it. Now tomorrow if you get a chance to learn the Python or Perl, right, same flow will repeat again. Only thing is the syntaxes are different. That's it. What else will be there, guys?
Go to statements in C.
Go to statements in C. Okay. See, go to statement is something like, going back to a particular statement, but that is not there in the shell, guys. Anything else?
Abstraction.
Okay, abstraction is the OOPS concept. That your shell scripting won't support abstraction. Your
I
shell script
mean,
won't support
it's
any
a
OOPS concept, guys. There is no exception handling, multi-threading, blah blah. These are not there in the code.
template.
Template, template in which language?
In C++.
In C++ templates. No, C++ is OOPS language. It won't support templates as well. Next, the main funda, the core thing. Actually, the core part. I'm asking about the core part. These core parts will be there in every language. See, conditions, loops are there in every language. There is no language without this. Similarly, there is one more important thing is there. Switches is done already. Switch case, we are already gone through it, right? Switch case is also called case. Did you heard about functions?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, the same thing we call as the methods in Java. Okay, in Perl you call it a
Yes.
subroutine. Yeah, subroutine. So functions is a kind of like it gives you your scripting or programming in a modularity. Okay, so it divides the things into some modules and you can call it. So that's the most important thing in every programming scripting language. So same thing is are available in shell scripting as well. Functions. Okay, so let's see how we write the functions. So the function definition here is uh, a set of statements, okay, separated in a block of code, okay, and called when it is required. Okay, that's a simple function definition. A set of statements in a separate block and called when it is required. Okay, so these functions will write it something like this. Function add, my function name is add, like this. Okay, and if you wanted to call a function, then what do? You call this function like this, simply. Okay, so let's see how to write a script in functions. Vi fun.sh. Okay, functions. Okay, now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to write a function here. Function add echo, I'm inside add function. Okay, call add function. That's it, simple. I'm just calling add function now. Is it printing I'm inside add function? And look at this, guys. Suppose if I call this add function from beginning. Okay, now let's see whether this executes fine or not. It throws an error. The reason, the shell scripting is an interpreter language. Okay, it scans line by line. It scans this line and prints the output. It scans this line and prints out. When it is scanning add, right, it doesn't have a value of add. Okay, it didn't scan the add function yet, so that's why it is throwing error. But when you put add after function defining, right, okay, this function add is already there in the memory of your interpreter. Now when it is scanning the add, right, it is there in the memory. That's the reason it is giving you the output. But if you try to call this before defining a function, it will throw an error. This is important interview question, guys. People will definitely ask you in the interpreter language, where do you call the add your functions? Okay, after function definition or before function definition? It's always after function definition, not before. Okay, if you try to call it before, it will throw an error because the function would have not scanned by your interpreter yet. Okay, interpreter scans line by line, one by one sequentially. Okay, so when it scans here, then it can call the add function. But when you call it from the beginning itself, it is not scanned the add function yet, right? That's the reason always define the functions first. If you download any shell script, guys, if it is having functions, the functions are defined in the beginning. Okay, then the actual code is written at the bottom. Okay, now I hope you understand now how the functions works in interpreter. Okay, but when it comes to programming language, there is no restriction, guys. You can call the function at the beginning or ending because it is not executing, it is compiling. Okay, it is generating a binary code. So when it's generating a binary code, it scans everything. Now I'm in add function, so what I will do it here, echo, sorry, total equal to expression $1 plus $2. You might be thinking, what is $1, $2? Okay, see, now the earlier function is a plain function. Okay, now the function which I'm writing is a function with parameters. Okay, so let me pass 12, 13. I'm passing 12, 13 parameters. These 12, 13 parameters inside the function will be treated like a variables like $1, $2. If a third parameter, $3, something like that. Okay, that's how you need to read it. If you want, you can cross check it, guys, whether it's really printing fine or not. Fun.sh. Is it printing 25, 12 plus 13? Am I right? Right? It's absolutely working fine. Now again, and if you want a function with return type, now if you want your function to be written something, okay, so you can do that as well. Print total. Don't put any echo statements inside your function. This total. Now what I can do it. Total. I'm returning something. Okay. You have to call it like this so that you know what will happen. It will pass 12 and 13 there, and it captures the total here. Echo total in main function. Okay, tot, right? Did you see this total and main? So I'm getting a return type. So whatever you're printing it here, that is capturing in the this total value. I'm printing it here. This is what, like, a function with a return. Earlier is a function with parameters. Now this function with parameters with a return value. Okay. Okay. Now I'll extend this program a bit more, guys. Okay. I'll write multiple functions. Subtraction, multiplication, Okay. Now what I will do it, instead of calling like this, case $op in, if it is an add case, okay, I'll call add function, okay, then I'll just print the total, break, right? So similarly, if it is a subtraction, I'll call the subtraction function, okay. If it is a multiplication, I'll call the multiplication function, okay. If it is something else, okay, I'll say echo, wrong choice, is that, okay. Now first of all, I need to read the inputs, echo, enter A, read A, echo, enter B, read B, okay, echo, enter operation, read OP, okay. Operation I read, but instead of 213 hard code values, I have to pass the $A, $B, $A, $B. Okay, 123, 12, subtraction. Is it correct, guys? Absolutely working program. Now look at this. This is what my program with function. Did you see this? Okay. The same thing we did without functions also. Only thing is the main addition logic is not there. It is there within the function. Okay. So the actual logic we can transfer to the modules and we can make use of the functions like this. This is what the functions concept in a shell scripting, guys. Okay. Main function call with parameters, function call with return type. Cool. So this is about the functions, and we left with a couple of more things in shell scripting, which is command line params, okay, special shell variables, okay. So if we could discuss these things, we are pretty much done with the shell scripting part, guys. Okay. So, and remember one thing, you might be thinking, that's it, shell scripting is this much. See, shell scripting is a huge if you write the logics. Okay. My job is not to train you to write the logic. Okay. See, when I say logic, nothing but print prime number. Okay, this is what my requirement. So printing a prime number is importantly, the main thing is, like, you should know the logic. Okay, once you know the logic, writing a script for that logic in shell scripting or Java, C, doesn't matter if you know the syntaxes. Okay, so main thing is, when it comes to programming language, you have to write the logic. Okay, so if you understand the logic, then writing a script is, it's something like, translating you. See, example, guys, you met a French guy. Okay, see, you wanted to, like, do some work, and that guy can do that work actually. Okay, so only thing is, your problem here is translating it. Okay, you need to translate your work to the French guy so that he can do it. So here the problem here is not to do the work he can do it easily. Okay, but the thing is, translation is the problem. Same thing when it comes to the programming also, right? Logic is important. Okay, so translation is not such a big deal, where you can easily do the translation if you know the syntaxes. So my job is to make you learn the syntaxes. This is how you write the syntaxes for the things in your shell scripting. Okay, when you go to the Perl scripting, the syntaxes will change, but the logic will be same. Okay, logic is same wherever you go. Okay, only the syntaxes will change across the programming languages or scripting languages. Okay, now we left with these two things. These two things we'll see it in a tomorrow session, guys. Also, we'll try to write our deployment automation script with the help of shell scripting. Okay, we'll try to finish that in tomorrow's session. So tomorrow we'll try to meet at the same time, your 2:30 p.m. IST. Any questions still here? Any questions? Kiran, Mahinder, can you practice the shell scripting? I'll give you some exercise, guys.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I have, like, some 10
Okay.
to 20 exercises are there. You just go through it and try to perform them. Okay. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys, thanks so much. We'll catch you tomorrow. See you.
Okay.